A man was walking through a forest when he noticed something strange. A little distance away, he saw a child stumbling forward. It looked like someone had left the kid at the edge of the path on purpose. Even stranger, the child was chewing something odd. The man thought maybe his eyes were playing tricks on him. So he decided it was better to head back to the city. But after taking only a few steps, he saw another child. No one else was around, so he wondered if this kid was lost in the desert. He walked toward the boy and asked if he needed help. The child said he did not know where his parents were. Jeff felt bad for him. He thought about picking the boy up and taking him back to the city, but the boy simply walked forward without saying anything. Jeff figured the child was scared and alone, so he followed him. They walked across the desert for half an hour until they reached a place with no phone signal. The area was empty and silent. Jeff stopped the kid and gave him water from his last bottle. Jeff did not know that this small act of kindness was the beginning of a nightmare. When Jeff tried to take the boy back, the child suddenly pulled his hand away. At first, Jeff thought he was just being playful, but when the boy started acting strangely, Jeff wondered if he had a mental problem. The kid gave a strange smile and walked away as night started to fall. Jeff wanted to head home, but he lost his way in the desert and his phone lost signal. Tired and confused, he found a cave where he could spend the night. But then he heard a sound. Nervous, he walked toward it and found a deep ravine. When he got closer, he saw a house with a light on and a woman standing outside. Jeff felt relieved. He climbed down the half-broken staircase, but it ended midway, so he used a chain ladder next to it. He had no idea this ladder would take him into a nightmare. Jeff reached the house and knocked many times but got no answer. The lights were on, so he thought someone must be inside. Finally, he walked up to the woman and explained that he was lost in the desert and needed help. She did not answer his question. Instead, she simply told him to sit and eat. Jeff agreed because he had no other choice. Her warm welcome surprised him, but when he looked into his bowl, something felt off. The woman, however, was eating happily. Jeff thought maybe he was just shaken from the desert. He gave her his whole bowl of food and only asked for a glass of water. Seeing her enjoy the meal, Jeff asked if she had a phone. She said she lived alone, had no family, and did not need one. She told him it was already dark outside and he should stay the night. Jeff had no better option, so he agreed, but he could not sleep at all. He kept turning through the night. The next morning, while the woman was still asleep, Jeff left some money and went toward the edge of the ravine. He noticed how dangerous the place looked. There was no proper way to climb out. Only the chain ladder he had used the night before. But now, when he reached it, he saw only a small broken part of the old staircase. It was impossible to climb. With no choice, Jeff went back to the house. The woman was still asleep. He sat outside and pulled out his camera to pass the time. Through the lens, he noticed that everything about the house was strange. Odd drawings on the walls, a big metal cage in the back room, and even a sacrifice spot with a goat head. The woman woke up and started working outside. Jeff asked her what happened to the chain ladder, but she did not answer. Jeff gave up and helped her with her chores. After the work was done, she finally spoke. She said that if he stayed until tomorrow, maybe they would find a way up. Jeff looked toward the broken stairs again and thought maybe he should try. He tried climbing, but the cliff was too steep. After several attempts, he gave up. He started brushing off the dirt from his clothes. The woman became excited and offered to bring water and wash his clothes, but Jeff refused. He just wanted to return to the city. She asked if his wife was waiting for him. Jeff looked confused and said he was not even sure he would ever have a wife. When the woman learned he was unmarried, she became more friendly. Night arrived, but Jeff still could not sleep. He went outside to check if the ladder had returned, but nothing had changed. The next morning, Jeff decided to take action. He grabbed a shovel from a drawer and tried climbing the cliff alone. The wall was so hard that he could not move even an inch. Still, the hope of going home kept him trying. Suddenly, someone dropped a chicken from above. It was clearly done on purpose. The shovel slipped and fell on his leg, injuring him badly. Jeff passed out until night. The woman saw him hurt, ran to him, cleaned his wound, and wrapped it. The next morning, Jeff was half conscious. He thought he saw the same boy from the desert standing in front of him. But soon he fell back asleep. Almost half a month passed before Jeff could walk a few steps again. He went outside and saw the chain ladder was still gone. Angry and desperate, he dragged the woman outside and shouted, "Where is the ladder? You trapped me here." The woman stood silently at first, then said she had only taken care of him. Jeff broke down and checked his wounds quietly. At that moment, 2 boys appeared at the top of the ravine. Jeff waved and asked for help. They leaned over and asked what his problem was. Jeff said he had fallen into the ravine by mistake and needed help climbing out. He promised he would repay them. The boys happily agreed, but they had no rope. They said they would get one and left. Jeff felt excited and hopeful. Soon, a rope was thrown down. The boys told him to tie himself securely. Jeff tied the rope carefully. He could not see that one of the boys had a strange, cruel look in his eyes. After a few minutes, they started pulling him up. Jeff felt relieved. But before he reached even halfway, something strange happened. The boys disappeared. Jeff tried everything, but nothing worked. He hung in the air with no way up or down. His only option was to pull himself up with his arms, but the blazing heat drained him. Suddenly, someone poured liquid on him from above. Jeff realized the boy was urinating on him. The boys swung the rope like he was a toy, and then Jeff saw the first boy from the desert among them. Now Jeff understood. These boys were a group, maybe a kind of family that played with trapped people. Jeff begged for help, but they ignored him. At last, they stopped swinging the rope. His head hit a rock and he fainted. When he woke up, it was night. He still refused to give up. He needed to escape. His body was exhausted. The woman came from behind, saw his condition, and said sadly, "Why do you keep fighting?" "Save some strength." Jeff asked, "Who are those boys?" She said they were just lost kids from the desert. Then she warned him. If he did not stay calm, his suffering would get worse. Jeff broke down. He screamed into the sky. The boys appeared again at the top, silently staring down at him with anger. A month passed. Jeff slowly accepted his fate. He now stayed with the woman inside the ravine. One day, she noticed his shirt sleeve was torn. She gave him some old men's clothes from a closet. Jeff wondered where they came from, but said nothing. He even started growing vegetables. The boys often threw food from above, and Jeff accepted it quietly. This became his new life. One night, he asked the woman if she ever wanted to escape. She said quietly, "This is it. Everything is here." Her answer confused him. They drank heavily that night. Soon, weird sounds came from outside. Jeff grabbed an axe and limped outside. What he saw shook him. The boys were running around wildly with strange makeup on their faces. Before Jeff could react, they attacked him. They pushed him down and mocked him. Broken inside, Jeff ran and asked the woman who they were and why she trapped him. She stayed calm and said nothing was wrong. She said she wanted them to spend their lives together. That night, their loneliness pulled them close and they slept together. The next morning, Jeff woke up and stepped outside. Near a post, he saw hundreds of bottle caps piled up, probably left by people who came here before and never got out. Another month passed. Jeff's vegetables started growing. One of the boys was amazed and asked how he grew them. Jeff felt a spark of hope. He taught the boy the basics, and the boy promised to bring him a soda. This made Jeff smile. Maybe escape was possible. That night, Jeff looked at the pictures on the wall. He thought he saw emotions in them. The woman said they were photos of her grandmother, who lived in this desert. The woman said she knew one thing for sure. Her grandmother loved her, just like she would love the child growing inside her. Jeff froze. The woman was pregnant. This was a nightmare. No one would want a child to be born in a place like this. Jeff protested, but she ignored him. Jeff finally understood that he was only a tool, a part of their tradition. He had no escape. Time passed, and Jeff's leg healed slowly. He practiced daily, trying to stay ready for any moment to run. One day, the same boy returned, but said he could not bring soda this time. Jeff smiled and said it was fine. He would teach him more if he helped him escape. He would even bring the woman along. They could become a real family. The boy looked unsure but moved by Jeff's words. He promised to try. Just then, a taller boy arrived and dragged him away. That night, Jeff was excited. He talked to the woman about the city and happy places. He showed her old pictures on his camera. For a moment, she dreamed along with him. The next morning, a scream came from outside. Jeff ran out and froze. The boy he trusted was hanging in the middle of the ravine. He was dead. The woman fell to the ground crying. Jeff felt the truth hit him. These boys were born here, raised under this tradition. They trapped people to continue their bloodline. The old men's clothes in the closet, the bottle caps on the post. Everything proved many others were trapped before him. Jeff had missed his last chance when he had the axe. The woman became angry and attacked him with a wooden plank. 5 months later, Jeff was locked inside a metal cage. His eyes were empty and his voice full of madness. One day, a girl wandered near the ravine. She heard Jeff begging. She came close to the bars. Jeff whispered for help. When she realized he was a prisoner, she promised to bring the police. For the first time, Jeff felt real hope. But before she could leave, the boys caught her and killed her in front of him. Jeff collapsed. That night, the woman came with a cup. Jeff begged her quietly. He said he would do whatever she wanted if she let him go. But her face did not change. She said he had been nothing more than a tool. Their family never needed outside men. He had been kept alive only because tradition said the father must live until the child was born. A few days later, the woman felt unbearable pain. She had experience giving birth, but something was different this time. She opened the cage and begged Jeff to help. Jeff did what he could. When they walked back to the house with the baby, something metal fell from above. The chain ladder. Jeff forgot everything. He ran toward the ladder while the woman screamed in pain. At the top, the boys stood waiting for him. Behind him, the woman cried out. It's a girl. She had given birth to a baby girl. Jeff froze. He forgot escape. He stared at the newborn while the woman smiled. She said the baby would continue her legacy. Their tribe would never end. For a moment, Jeff felt everything else fade. Then darkness hit him from behind. A quick, silent blow. Jeff's life ended there inside the ravine, and the story ends. Jeff was used like a tool. He completed his purpose and became another lost man absorbed by the ravine forever. If you enjoyed the story, hit like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.